Hey guys, welcome to our workshop this evening. I saw the clock turn 7 o'clock on the dot my time, and I was just really excited for this moment to be here with you guys. It looks like we have 27 people in the workshop tonight, which is awesome. We usually do just some housekeeping and some introductions for the first 5 minutes. My name is Alicia. I'll be your workshop host. And there is a raise hand feature on your Zoom chat. So if it is your first time taking this workshop or your first time joining a workshop with me, use that raise hand feature so I know how many people are new here. I've been teaching these workshops since 2020, so I definitely see a lot of names who come back and revisit and get a little refresher on all of the information. I have about 8 workshops that I teach on rotation with 9-9, so I'm here about 4 times a month. And yeah, it's been almost 6 years. So I recognize a lot of you, and I'm always thrilled when there's new people joining. And then you have a Q&A spot in your Zoom chat. So that is where you can introduce yourself. That's where you can give feedback throughout tonight's workshop. We're going to be together for an hour. So while we wait for more people to join on, I would love it if I could get some information from you guys. If you want to share with me who you are, where you're from, and what you do, and maybe what you're hoping to gain out of the workshop tonight. I definitely recommend taking notes, grabbing a drink, staying hydrated as always. And yeah, for those of you just joining on who didn't catch it so far, we're just doing intros. My name is Alicia. I'll be leading the workshop tonight all about social media. And social media is super important, specifically Instagram. Um, I've been modeling since 2016. So I'll be doing 10 years of modeling in May is when I got my very first contract. So that's right around the corner. And I've witnessed a lot of changes. So back when I started, Instagram was just like a new thing. And now it is how models and actors build their brand. It's a free platform. So by a show of hands, if you could find that raise hand feature, will you let me know if you have an Instagram that you use? And my goal is for you guys by the end of tonight's workshop to, if you don't have one, create one. And if you do have one, we're going to audit it and we're going to make sure that it's set up for you to start attracting clients because it has to be relevant to what you do. In the beginning, had one social media account, and then in the last couple years, I created another separate account, which is just for me and my friends. It's just my private stuff. And then I have my main Instagram, which is geared towards business. It's geared towards showing off my personality, what I have to offer as a model, as a professional. And that's been a lot of fun building that page as well. This is a picture that I just posted on Instagram today. I got these images back from the spring collection that I modeled back in, when was that? January, December, November? It was quite some time ago, but one thing I love about modeling is getting the images back, and seeing what the team is creatively capable of. Makeup, hair, fashion, location, editing, lighting, all of it is just such a vibe. So you have that same power. So like, let's say you're not working on a set yet. Maybe you're in the very beginning stages of your career. But you have the power to put out images into the world, and that is done through this photo sharing app called Instagram, which we're going to reveal all the layers of in tonight's workshop. And I want you guys to really understand that Instagram is actually your first audition. Back when Instagram really wasn't a widely utilized tool, we would show up for auditions, and now things have kind of changed where we audition online a lot of the times. And almost every audition or submission that I've submitted online My portfolio has a link to my Instagram. The casting directors are looking. They want to know how you present yourself online. They want to get another layer to you. And that's kind of another way that fashion has changed. The industry has changed too, is that it used to all be about your talent and who you knew. And maybe you had a famous, parent, and then you would get into these movies and stuff. But now it's really on us to create our own vibe on this little corner of the internet. It's really um, not as scary as a lot of people think it is to put yourself out there on Instagram. But even if you just had a basic foundation, that would be better than not having any Instagram at all. When you have that visibility online, it can turn into more bookings. I just had a brand reach out to me today via Instagram. It's not the first time. So you can be discovered through social media, maybe locally, maybe nationally. You never know what kind of brand is going to want to work with somebody who um, has what you have to offer or whatever professional service you're providing. Is it acting? Is it modeling? Is it singing? Is it comedy? And you have to kind of have a landing page for these people to find you. And that is how we create the visibility for ourselves. We can't just rely on the agencies to do everything for us. We have to pitch ourselves. And that was a very powerful piece of advice that I just opened up my Threads app and read, when I was scrolling over coffee, and it hasn't left my mind that we are responsible for pitching ourselves as well. So when we are posting on Instagram consistently, that is real-time proof to anybody who may have the potential to work with you that you are committed to your craft and you're working. If you're posting pictures of your work or you're posting pictures geared towards getting a job, that's going to show a level of commitment that your personality or your submission tape just doesn't reveal, which is why they always go back to check your Instagram. And then a large part of tonight's workshop and our activity is going to be helping you guys understand how to create your brand. And everything in this industry is branding, really. And so I can't wait to go over that with you guys, but that's your vibe, that's your style, that's your personality. The 5 things required to build an authentic brand for yourself is going to be knowing your identity and what sets you apart. So, knowing your personal style, your personality, your voice, values, quirks, and being able to showcase these things and have confidence in them. Being consistent. So that's showing up on Instagram. If they went to your Instagram and they saw that you auditioned for a role yesterday, but you haven't posted anything on your Instagram since 2018, it's not going to give off reliable. It's not going to give off committed. So you want to have, and that's just another way of how you get an active profile to work for you and building a brand. You don't want to ghost people. You want to be present so that they can trust and rely on you. That's part of building a brand. Showing your real personality through BTS content. Anybody who's taken my workshops before know what BTS means. Go ahead and pop it in the Q&A. I'll be so proud of you because it took me the first 5 years of my modeling career to know what that meant. Daily life moments, things that you care about. So we have this role that we are playing that we want to get into. We want to act, we want to model, but there's another layer of us. And so we need to showcase that. That's going to be what is relatable. That's going to be what's of value versus just having a good resume. They want to see those daily life moments. If you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you enjoy doing your hair, braiding your hair, if you have a daughter, if you have a son, anything like that, is going to help you guys build that brand. Sarah, you got it right. It's behind the scenes. So behind the scenes content is really important to capture, because again, that shows that you are working. And once we flip from aspiring into working, when we book our first job, we are no longer aspiring. We're actually doing the dang thing. And so BTS content comes in handy to share on your Instagram, to show brands that you're working, that you're not totally green, as we call the newbies in this industry. Everybody starts green someday with very little baseline of experience. But then once you get on set, make sure you have that BTS content. And we're going to be talking about that more in depth on Saturday. I believe that's the Booked and Ready class where we'll talk about professionalism on set and how BTS is, you need permission and all of that stuff. So don't miss that. And then another thing to build an authentic brand for yourself is sharing your journey. Really reflect on where you came from. Honor that. Use your voice, use your platform to share that. That encompasses growth, struggles, wins, losses, training, work. And that is like the vulnerable part of building a brand, is that you want to have that storyline that gets people's attention, that maybe they can relate, maybe they can align with you in whatever you're going through, maybe they have something similar, or they just have appreciation for your brand, for who you are, where you've been, and where you're going, and where you want to go. And then creating that value for your audience too. So if we are models and we just continue to post all these beautiful, pretty pictures, that's great. But what is it doing? So, what's the underlying motivator there for them to want to follow you or be affiliated with your brand? Maybe they want some tips from you. Maybe they want to be inspired by you, or they want to get some advice from you. All of those things are going to help you make that connection with your audience. That is how you create value. That is how you build an authentic brand, and being an expander as well. We talk about expanders in my inspo workshop. That is a huge motivational workshop. You guys should, if you haven't, come to that as well. And also pop quiz, if any of you guys know what an expander is because you've been to that workshop, go ahead and pop it in the Q&A. But realize that maybe you are an expander for somebody else. Okay, so we've gotten all that out of the way about branding and a quick importance of the social media in this career path that we are all on. And there's a lot to cover in this workshop, so forgive me if I'm chatting a little fast. I'm trying to make it so that we have some time in the end to connect and have a Q&A, but we are going to have time right now to interact with one another because we're doing an activity, and this is where we're going to understand what our values are. So think about, you're a brand and you have so many choices of models that you want to pick, so many different choices of actors. Let's say you got 50 submissions for a role. So what is going to be the differentiator sometimes? Sometimes it boils down to height requirements, SAG, AFTRA, little tiny details like that where you like just missed the job by some minuscule thing. But most of the time, like I told you, they're always going to say, this is a person of interest. We're going to pull their audition and now we're going to look them up on social media and we're going to check out their brand and make sure it's a good fit for us because they nailed the audition. But then there's that next step that 98% of the casting directors and brands are going to follow through on. And they're going to try to see what your values are. And why do values create that pull for them to hire you is because they feel connected to you. And they understand you without knowing you. That is the importance of the values. So if you did have a page and it was just all these beautiful photos of yourself, but nothing revealing really another layer of your personality, anything of your favorites, your styles, your quirks, maybe your dance skills, anything. That might deter them from going for somebody who has a more well-rounded profile and where they can say, wow, we really relate to how he loves his cat. And we love how he's documented all of these adventures that he's been on. He seems like a really adventurous person. He's taken some creative risks in his career, and we're going to go with this one. So That is what we kind of want to build. That's a direction that I would like you guys to kind of understand the importance of that social media landing page on Instagram for you guys. So, what are your values? What values do you want to speak through your brand? Because every brand starts by defining their values, and that becomes the pillars of their brand that they kind of, it's like their guiding posts of why they're doing it and how other people are going to connect with them through their values. So here's just a list of possible values in life. I know there's many more, but I want you guys to look at this list and pop in the Q&A your top three that are screaming at you um, of what your values in life are. I do love my cats. I know I have two little wiener dogs. I'm obsessed. All right, Kai, first one to answer. We've got progress. It's a beautiful value. Creativity and motivation. Laquan, authenticity, growth, wisdom. Freya, authentic, funny, trust. Poplin, achievement, creativity, responsibility. We've got leadership, achievement, success, authenticity. So authenticity has kind of repeated itself many times. I forget which workshop I we talk about authenticity and unpack it and what it means, but it's a powerful thing. Actually, I think we just unpacked it a lot on Monday night in the 10 mindset shifts. Self-respect, that was one of mine for a very long time. Yeah, I was working with a mentor and she gave me this list. And I think my top three at the time were beauty, self-respect, and loyalty. And I wrote them down on a post-it, which I recommend you guys do. And think about how they show up in your life and why they're important to you, and examples that you can show that these things hold true in your life. And so I got to thinking about loyalty, and I had this complete realization that I shared on TikTok at the time when I was really pushing out TikTok. But loyalty, as everyone understands it, is like how loyal you are to other people and, loyal to your job, loyal to your family, loyal to your local mechanic. And I had this realization of like, because my other value was self-respect, we should be that loyal to ourselves. And so it was just kind of like a brain moment. And yeah, I'll never forget that realization. So yeah, so if you found your three values, congratulations. And they can change depending on what season of life you are in. So feel free to revisit this list or do a little bit more reflecting on other values that hold true to you. But again, these values are really important because it's going to take your content on social media from just being random posts, and it's going to make it more intentional, more cohesive. And that's what every strong brand really needs. And I want to remind you guys that once you get into this industry, you are your own business. You're your CEO. We are self-contracted, self-employed. We work with agents. We work with agencies. Yes, we work with brands, but we are the CEO. So we need a strong set of values and we need that social media page to really reflect that, to pull in people who want to be affiliated with our brand. So that takes intentionality. Intentionality, I think that's a word. Your values guide what stories you're going to share, how you show up. So if a post doesn't align with your values, it probably doesn't belong on your page. Maybe it belongs on your private page. So when your values essentially are felt through your content, people then trust you. And that trust and that reliability is what gets you hired and gets you looked at as the right candidate for this booking. And these clients are paying thousands of dollars. So I want you guys to set yourself up to be able to catch these gigs. Because once you start working, it can boost, and every door you open can get you into your next room. So if you guys are here because you are beginners, that is really the secret sauce is building up your social media for now. I mean, there's many secrets. They're all revealed in all of my workshops, so please come back. But the values create consistency for you and for everyone else who's an onlooker on your page or who's looking to work with you. And when you show up consistently and you create with purpose, it's going to look like having a consistent tone, having consistent messaging, and consistent energy. Again, that's that reliability, that's that trustworthiness that screams, this is the match for the job. They have a good foundation, they're grounded, they know who they are, their page is screaming authenticity. And that is a magnetizer for success and momentum and sustainability in your career. So once you get off this workshop tonight, I want you guys to think about how you can create that consistency. Now, I'm not asking you guys to post every day, but social media is something that a lot of people shy away from because it's complex. There's a lot of layers to it. We're going to break that down next. But yes, professional and intentional is always going to be our goal. So some examples of that professional and intentional content that I swear by for my page is always portfolio and digital updates. If I get new photos, I'm not going to sleep on them. I want to share them with my Instagram. I want them to be on my Instagram page because that is the portfolio that is within my control and it's under my control. It's in my hands. And I love being able to take control of my portfolio and build on it. I really love Instagram too because it shows your growth over time. You pull up anybody's Instagram page and it's just a bunch of grids and squares, but with maybe 4 swipes, you can follow their journey back down to 2020 and see how much they've changed and how much they've grown and what their mindset was like back then based on their captions, and how their images are reading. Behind the scenes, we already discussed that. We want to show people that we are working. Any training you're taking, any rehearsal, self-tapes, you can get so creative on there with video and putting on reels, editing your video. It's very simple to just put a few little clips together, add some music, maybe add subtitles on there. And it's a whole vibe just to create reels that show your personality, your lifestyle. I just had a local esthetician reach out to me to try to offer me a facial. That's never happened to me before, but I've been posting on Instagram consistently. I've been working with local creatives. I've been tagging brands, tagging studios, tagging makeup artists that I'm working with. So it's circulating. My content is circulating around, and they asked me if they could give me a facial if I would, post a little something about my experience there. And I'm getting really excited to make a little reel. So at the end of tonight's workshop, I'll give you guys my social media so you can cheer me on and catch up with me on there. And see how I do it. But everyone's going to do it uniquely in their own way. You don't have to be offered a facial in order to document the fact that you love skincare, that you're passionate about skincare, that you're passionate about self-love and taking time out for yourself to meditate, to go for a run, to go for a walk, read a book, whatever it is that you do that balances you, that pulls you back down after a long day. You can capture that and put that on your page, and it has so much meaning and so much value that's going to help you again. So those creative projects that I mentioned that I've been working with some local talents, that is always an opportunity for you guys. If you're not booking gigs right now, maybe you just want to collaborate with some people and look up photographers in your area who maybe want to work with models or makeup artists and see if you guys can plan a concept together. Back in the day, I rented a studio in Connecticut, that's where I'm from, for $15 an hour, and we shot on an iPhone. So it can be done. Challenges and wins along the journey. And then my favorite lately is just gratitude when I don't know what I want to say or how I want to say it. But I have a picture that I want to post. I'm always thankful to the brands that work with me, the makeup artist, the stylist, and just my journey as a whole would not take a single second back. Um, the bigger picture of social media use too is to connect with like-minded people. Who doesn't want to connect with like-minded people? And it's so easy because you don't have to go out to a networking mixer and put shoes on. You can have slippers on. You can be on your couch on Instagram and building these connections with like-minded people who love fashion, who love acting, who love comedy, whatever it is that you're into. And it can be helpful to have them in your social media as a follower or somebody that you follow. The bigger picture of social media use too is getting comfortable being seen, which we're going to talk about. Using your voice to express, express, express. The more that we get comfortable doing it online, showing up online, the better we are to show up in a room full of people we've never worked with before and not shrink and be intimidated to be able to share with the group and share who you are and your personality. Even though maybe you're intimidated, because working on set sometimes can be like that. At least it was for me in the beginning. And even sometimes now, when it's a brand new client, I've never worked with anybody, you just hope for the best. But um, yes, attracting clients and aligned opportunities for work and showing off your greatest superpower, your biggest flex would be your authenticity. All right, next, I told you guys we were going to talk about this, which not many people, I feel like they know that they don't like posting on social media, but they don't exactly know why or they don't really reflect too much on it. So at my part-time job, I work at a brewery and we hired a social media content creator. And the brewer, whenever she puts the camera in his face, he like gets really shy and doesn't like it. And I said, Jim, what is the reason do you think that you don't like being on camera? Like, instead of just accepting that as your fate for your rest of your life, why don't you look at it and break it down and figure out what's the fear? So we kind of talked about, like embarrassment or being judged and how these are very real fears for people. And so I'm really big on mindset. I think everything is about how you dissect and analyze things and then recalibrate it so that it's a helpful thought. But studies do show that this is a psychological barrier to promoting yourself online, and it's not uncommon. It's very common. So I have three questions for you guys to reflect on. You can answer in the Q&A. But what scares you the most about being visible online? Have you ever hesitated to post something because it felt too much, not enough, or what was it specifically that held you back? And if fear wasn't a factor, what kind of content would you post more of? At this point, I'm no longer afraid to post anything because the algorithm has changed so much. I used to be so afraid, like, oh, what if I post this and I don't get any likes? And this other model that I've worked with, she gets 500 likes on her page and I get 80. But the algorithm has changed so much that I know a lot of people are struggling to get their content seen. And so the algorithm, we will talk a little bit about it towards the end, but since I'm waiting for your responses or you guys are doing a reflection right now, the algorithm, obviously Instagram is a free tool. But of course, they'd love to make money off their consumers because there's over 100 million Instagram accounts. So they have this algorithm that you can pay to push your content out, and that's really what they want for you. So they make it difficult if you're just using it for free. And they only show your content to 10% of your followers. And if it does well and people are engaging and liking well after a certain threshold, then it will reveal it to the next 10% of your audience and so and so and so. And so It is a struggle. So we're not in this for likes. Again, we're in this just to build our brands. And at that point, if you're being authentically yourself, what is there that you have to be afraid of? What is it that you have to hesitate for? If everything that you post is going to help position you for success and to be visible and to show up as professional. Just recently started Instagram, fairly new at it. Beginning is the best place for anybody because there's nowhere else to go but up. I have no fear nor reservations to post. I'm not shy at all. I absolutely love that. Oh, my biggest regret is when I played professional hockey, I would have posted about my whole journey and I didn't. So maybe you have one post dedicated to your professional hockey journey where you write a little caption. Or Instagram has this thing where you can post pictures and write the words over it, and they call it a carousel when you swipe and you're reading the story in the background is a picture. And a lot of people will just use the same picture because they're just trying to tell the story. So the more time you spend on Instagram, the more you will see all the different ways. But if you guys ever wanted to reach out to me and you wanted to come up with some content ideas, you wanted to book a little meeting with me, I would 100% be happy um, to help chat it up and mentor you guys. All right, so fear of visibility can look like second guessing every caption or photo, writing posts, but never hitting publish. I used to do that a lot. Comparing yourself to others, playing it safe with generic content, worrying more about likes than about sharing your message. Guilty. Feeling exposed when strangers comment or follow you. Guilty. Shrinking your online content so you won't attract criticism or judgment. Very guilty. So we need to rewire our brain out of fear. So ask yourself, whose voice am I hearing when I struggle to be visible? Because it's not the voice that's coming from your highest self that wants the best for you. I mean, the way I see it, we're all here for a reason. We all joined tonight's workshop for a reason. So that should be that inner tug that we have to see this through. So we cannot let fear talk us out of it. Common patterns of thinking that perpetuate the fear. Well, I'm too this and I don't have enough that. And what if people think this? And so these are some beautiful opposing thoughts to help you get out of that cycle. These little thoughts kind of creep in. They're in the background, they're wired in our subconscious based on experiences that we've had. And the more awareness we have to actually dial in when they're occurring, that awareness can help us talk us out of it by saying, my work and my words are medicine and inspiration for some people. And notice that says some people because we got to take the pressure off ourselves. It's not going to be for everybody. Not everybody's going to like you, but if you like you, that's all that matters. That's that authentic energy. I'm an artist and my art deserves to be seen. I will not play small to make others more comfortable. And my light deserves to shine. Yes, it does. Where your fear is, there is your task. So it's like, crap. I exposed a fear that maybe you guys have about your social media. Maybe you're thinking it's too hard. Maybe you're thinking it's too time consuming. Everything is what you make of it. So if you have 10 minutes every night to spend scrolling, interacting, that's your task. I mean, it's just however you want to work your social media. So your task also is going to be building that visibility. So using video to your advantage is a big one because when people can hear and feel you, that authenticity scale goes crazy. There's so much more that can be felt in a connection through video and real life moments than just posting a still image. Leveraging trends authentically. So trending audios, trending images, trending videos. You can then turn around and do it yourself. So I'm trying to think of like a trend back in 2020 when everybody was locked down. That I'm a Savage dance by Megan Thee Stallion. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? By raise of hands. And everybody was learning these dances and they were making these little videos to this song. So that's kind of like what a trend is. And the more time you spend on social media, the more that you will pick up on some of these trends and think about how you can make it yours and how you can recreate it in your own unique way. Cross promoting recently, any reel that I post on Instagram is landing on Facebook. I don't think I meant to do it, but it does it. So now all my mom's family and friends, my old cousins, uh, people I've met throughout the last, I don't know when I got my Facebook, I'm letting them into that world where it would have only been the people who follow me on Instagram. Now I have people on Facebook that can support me and cheer me on and kind of get a little bit of an idea of what who I am and what I represent and what I'm doing with my social media. A lot of people go on social media and they'll share life updates. They don't post that often. And it's like becomes a highlight reel. But what if you were the one friend who could bring like some comic relief or inspire them because you're capturing these big pivotal moments in your journey that are inspiring, that make people proud of you, and then they cheer for you. In my case, they're stopping me at work and they're saying, "I saw that reel you posted. I really like what you're doing lately." And yeah, just you want to share your content across multiple platforms. If you are able, you just kind of check a box that says share to Facebook. Another big one that people are experiencing a lot of growth and connection on is the app Threads. I don't know if you guys have it. It's kind of like a Twitter. It's through Meta, but basically all of your Instagram posts you can link to Threads as well. So, engaging with intention, we're going to talk about that. Visibility is reciprocal. So, if you want to be seen, you have to show other people that you see them too. And so that's what I love about Instagram is that just like how we're all around the world in different areas and different time zones, but we're here in this room together, that's kind of like what Instagram provides. So you can build a connection in New York City. You can send a message to somebody in New York City, even if you live all the way in LA. And I've done that before. I followed a lot of inspiring people. And they are part of my network now. Tagging strategically, again, tag brands, photographers, stylists, and locations when appropriate. Anytime you tag somebody or mention somebody, they can repost. And when they repost, then all their followers see it. So that's the magic sauce as well to get your stuff seen is if you worked with a photographer, you tag them. Visibility is something every model and actor needs, but few are taught how to build. So there is your how-to list to build your visibility. And I want you guys to think like you could be insanely talented. Maybe you guys, some of you in this room are not beginners. Maybe you're revisiting this career path. You've had formal training, you've been on sets before, but on social media, if nobody knows that you exist, it might be a harder road to build that visibility and get those connections. I was in a makeup artist chair the other day and she just kept name dropping all these models. And she's like, "Oh, you know Cara? You know Marquita?" And I was like, "Yes, I know them. Yes, I know them. And how do I know them? Because I follow them on social media and I see that they are the top models that I should know about." And so imagine if I was sitting there with the makeup artist and I didn't know anyone she was talking about, that would kind of give off to her that I'm not really committed, that I'm not really in it. And this is our industry. We want to be in the know and we want to understand who is at the top and what we should strive for. So, optimizing your profile too. These are kind of like the logistics. Your Instagram should be set to public. If you have a private profile, again, you have no visibility because no one's going to request to follow you. They want to see that you're open to sharing your business and your brand with the world. And so to have it be set to private is not going to help you at all. So that's almost mandatory. Your photo should be clear and up close of your face. If it's an image that's far away, it's not really going to work in your favor because when they understand your brand and they follow your Instagram, they're going to have that one image of your profile picture kind of burned in their brain up here that they will remember you by. Having a clear and detailed bio related to your modeling and acting. So for you guys, you would say, "I'm a model with 9'9". and have your location in there as well. Describe what you do, who you are, your agency info, your contact info, and just keep it professional and relevant. I know some models have like maybe a life mantra or a quote or a Bible verse, and all of that is great. That's another layer to shed some light on what's important to you, what you value. But most importantly, it should say where you're located, what you do, who you are, and the agency that you're with. Because let's say there's a client who stumbled across your page, but they're in Connecticut and you're in Kentucky, and they want to work with you, but they know that you're not in their area. But if there was somebody in your area and that would be a deciding factor with them. They would say, "Oh, I found this model on Instagram. I found this actor on Instagram, and we are about 2 hours away from each other. So I know that they're local and that they don't have to hop on a plane to be here." And so that can definitely help you as well. Adding another layer of authenticity is the caption. Caption sometimes is the hardest part. We might have this amazing image, this amazing art, this amazing reel, a life update, a behind the scenes captured, any picture that we want to share and put on our Instagram profile, our portfolio. We have a duty to write a caption. Can't just be blank. So that is another layer. I always try to have my captions say connect, contribute, or captivate. And contributing is as simple as tagging the brand and who worked on you with this image. Connection, putting out a little bid for connection. You can ask your audience a question. You can express something, teach something, motivate them in some way. You can do a storytelling, anything that's, you know, really profound that's maybe happened to you lately, a life realization, a loss, a gain, anything that's going to help them steer themselves on that image for a little bit longer just to read the caption. Now, I'm not saying you have to write a whole essay, but you can. If you are interested in writing and you're a good writer, I've written poetry before, I've told stories. So yeah, I tried to have that caption be where I can really get their hearts, touch their soul a little bit. And that is how you make that lasting, strong impression. And that's how you get visibility that really, really matters, where you make a really good impression. Now, my favorite lately has been adding music because you can add a music clip to any post. And I think that providing your music taste and having it be the background of a picture as well is revealing so many layers of your personality. And so that's been really fun for me as well to say, well, what song do I want to put this post to? Now, I don't know if any of you guys are thinking in your head, like, oh, well, I don't have any followers, so is it really worth it for me to be posting? Followers can be gained, and you're always going to start off with zero. So don't even worry about it right now. I want you guys to kind of reframe this idea of having a following and think about it as like a community, right? So you don't just want a crowd. You don't want to just follow somebody that you haven't talked to in 10 years in hopes that maybe they would follow you back. You want to create some engaged community where maybe their content is giving you value and your content is giving them value. And when you go around and you're on Instagram, it's not always just about, optimizing your profile, posting and waiting to see who likes it and you building a brand that way. Every time you like somebody's stuff, it's going to give them a notification that you liked their stuff. It's going to make it easily accessible to click on your profile name and they can go check out your page. So essentially, when you're going around liking a lot of things that obviously are intentional and aligned with what draws you in and what you're supporting, even if you're commenting, that's going to attract likes back in your direction. That's kind of the circle of life here. You support other people in turn support you. So engage genuinely, reply to comments, comment on other people's contents, and message people you admire or want to work with. So those models that I mentioned earlier, I've definitely commented on their stuff. I've definitely liked their stuff. My favorite emoji to comment is the clapping. Could be as simple as that. And people remember that. I've even gone as far to send messages to models. And back when I was beginning, I'd say, first of all, you're beautiful. Second of all, how do you do that look in the camera? Because, I'm struggling with my connection to the camera, and every time I get photographed, it looks like I'm dead, to put quite simply. And the model replied and gave me a tip and a trick on how to engage with the camera. I said, thank you. Maybe one day we'll work on set together. And like 2 years later, we were on set together. So I always love to tell you guys that story. But that is another layer of the value that social media brings as well. If you're a beginner, you have access to follow so many seasoned people in this industry. And posting with intention to make your followers feel like they're part of your journey. Because some of them have been cheering me on since the beginning days of Instagram, since before I even got my first modeling contract. So that activity that you're producing by liking, commenting, messaging, reposting, posting on your stories, that's going to signal the algorithm um, that you are an active account, and it's going to reward that. And it's going to push out your content to other similar niches. So, mental health warning, of course. We don't want to just do this for followers because that can lead to burnout and anxiety. We don't want to do this for likes either. Again, we're not creating a crowd, we're creating a community. So that engagement that you get from your community is much more valuable than your follower count. I don't know if you've ever looked at somebody's Instagram and it's like they have, 50,000 followers, and then you look at their likes and they have 23 likes and zero comments. That is showing that uh, you have a crowd. You don't have a community that supports you, and that's really the goal. And again, that's another layer of maybe why brands want to work with you because they see all these other people genuinely supporting you and clapping for you and cheering you on. And if you were to work for them, that would bring value to them as well. So seek to have a small, loyal audience that likes, shares, comments, contributes. And then also, I want you guys to think about what you're consuming. If any of you were to open up your Instagram app tonight, did you know that you can basically build what is revealed to you? Now, a lot of people say that our phones listen to us. I don't doubt that. So you could say acting, modeling, major productions. You can write in directors, photographers, but basically, what you like the algorithm is going to pull more of that content and bring it right to your doorstep because it wants to be an application that is of value to you. So you want to follow and engage with people who inspire you, reputable modeling agencies or acting agencies, working models and actors who share their insights or who share their work. My favorite lately is to watch these models at Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. It's so inspiring because runway is like the hardest parts of my career so far. It's one skill I just haven't mastered and don't have much experience in. But when I open my Instagram and I have that accessible to me, it expands and it reminds me and it pushes me in that direction and shows me that it is possible and there are people doing it. So, of course, you have to go and engage in that information for the algorithm to know that you like that. So if you were to, engage with random stuff, all over the place, it wouldn't really have a niche for you. Educational, motivational accounts. I just started following Greg Chan. He is an industry veteran. He is like one of the top agents, and he's giving all of this advice on his page and creating these cute little reels. He don't care what he looks like. He has like maybe a food stain on his shirt. It is so authentic and he's genuinely sharing to try to help everybody. I've really enjoyed his content lately. Magazines, local magazines in your area, get inspired by them, follow them. Let them see that you're commenting, that you're liking on their images and supporting them. That really means the most to people. So yeah, that's a little bit about the algorithm. So you can literally tailor your feed to what you would want to consume that's helpful to you. So if you are dieting and you want healthy recipes, you can look up healthy recipes. All it takes is for you to watch 20 seconds of healthy recipe content and like it for the algorithm to push that your way. Like my algorithm when I was moving was all of this home decor and remodeling stuff. And now it's all about a woman's worth and breakups, unfortunately. I don't know if it's been listening to me or what, but I open my algorithm and it's like all this supportive content from women that I definitely need to hear. So that is all available to you on this app we call Instagram. Your future in this industry is what you create. So you need to start posting. And when you post, it's not just a chore. It's you exercising your right to shine. Like I said in the beginning of this workshop, it's just a teeny tiny corner of the internet. So it's not so much pressure. And like I said, also, is that we're in control of this portfolio. So if we want to shine a certain aspect of our personality, of what we're going through that may be helpful for casting directors and brands to understand about us. We don't have the opportunity to express that when we're in an audition room or when we're doing a submission. So there's again, that Instagram visit that they make to your page is going to reveal a lot about you. If you've got it set up, if you've got your branding good. So I want you guys to think about what's one thing that you can post this week that feels brave. Just reduce that perfectionism and just post. One idea I have for yourself, which I've been meaning to do myself, is to reintroduce myself to my audience. So if you guys are in this industry and you want to make it, you guys should be comfortable with recording yourself because we do a lot of self tapes and a lot of digitals that we submit online for jobs and such. So pop out your iPhone, your Droid, whatever, flip it and tell a quick little story about yourself and then pop it in Instagram and edit it. If there's little bloopers, you can put the bloopers in at the end. You can reorganize the clips. You can trim them down to take out awkward silences. You can add music in the background really low so it has a small beat. And you want to make it interesting to watch. If you want to just express why you're here, why you got into this industry, what you love most about it, why it ignites your passion, where you're hoping to go, just have a quick little 30 to 45-second breakdown where people can really get inspired by you because it is brave. It is brave to put yourself out there. And if you already have an Instagram, I would like you to review it and clean it up. If there's anything on there that's not going to help your brand define itself, if it's not going to put you in a professional light to be hired, or if it's not going to show your commitment to your skill and your craft, then you can archive it and you can always visit it later, but it won't be available to be seen when people view your page. And I want you guys to redo your bio too. If your bio is blank, you get like 150 characters to put something cute and clever in there. Often it's the first thing that people see when they visit your page is your bio, and that's their first glimpse into how you express yourself, why you're here, what you do. So yeah, if you share your unique vibe online, you will just watch, wait, and see. All the right opportunities will find you and it's going to just strengthen your professionalism as well. And it's really kind of an activity of self-discovery too, to help you get to know yourself. And of course, the better we know ourselves, the more grounded we are, and the more opportunities we can pull our way because we want to align with brands and opportunities. So social media is one big, huge part of this industry. Never was in the beginning. People used to just take pictures of their food, slap a filter on it, and post it for the day. But now people are actually even making money off Instagram. They have tons of followers. They're selling stuff on Instagram. They are utilizing it to share what they know. And so I should really hop on that train because I would love to step into a bigger space and kind of pivot a little bit. But I really hope you guys got something out of tonight's workshop. These workshops are offered on a rotating basis. So if you want to come back and get a refresher and catch up with me, I always welcome that to come back to. This is a resource that is available for you guys, and it's a resource that I didn't have when I first started out. And there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know that I was completely clueless to. So that is my intention with these workshops is to really help you guys, thrive in this industry and have a really good understanding of what it takes. Or at least, everybody's path is unique, but what has helped me succeed and get momentum and sustainability in my 10-year career as a model. So I will be back on Saturday. Like I said, we're going to be talking about how to prepare for your first day on set. So imagine you're building your social media and you're submitting to these things online and you're keeping your eye on all the casting roles and seeing what you could be a good fit for. You're ready to commit. And then you audition, and one day you get the call that says you got the job, and then you kind of freak out a little bit. That is the baseline of how I created that workshop. So it's all about preparation, expectations, of the model, of the actor, and also, what to expect on a day on set. And so that's super valuable information. I offer that at least once a month to help all the newbies because I believe in you guys so much that you are going to need that advice. You're going to need all of that info. So I will connect with you guys on Saturday. It's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Can't wait. And if not, keep a lookout for my April classes because I think I just concluded on Saturday the rest of my March classes. So I really hope to connect with you guys again and again and again. And if not, best of luck to you all. And I will chat with you guys in the future. What did I do here? All right, logging off, having a moment here. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Appreciate you so much for being here, and you guys should appreciate yourself even more for showing up for yourself and investing in yourself for the last hour. So I will see you guys soon. Take